guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today I really wanted to cover a topic which again I've seen a lot of hype about online, and people have been asking me in terms of with the law of attraction and with manifestation, what can you do right now if you feel like your 2020 is off track, if you feel like your manifestations are being delayed, or you feel like what the hell can I do with my 2020 now? Like, what is the best thing to do? Do we just hit reset? Do we hit skip? Do you focus on your manifestations? Like, what is it you can do if you feel that your manifestations are off track or your 2020 is off track? So this is a really interesting topic because there are so many reasons of why this is happening in the world currently. I mean, if you're obviously watching this in the future, then this is the times where obviously we are in lockdown due to the coronavirus and COVID-19. And I covered a little bit in my video last week of what we should be manifesting right now, or the types of things we should be manifesting. Is it ethical to be manifesting our goals and desires right now? So watch that. And I've also done an IGTV specifically on that and a blog post as well if you want to go and read that, because I didn't do it fully in last week's video, but it touches upon it a little bit in terms of like, is it the right time to be focusing on your goals and manifestations right now, and how we can use our manifestation abilities for the highest good and to help others right now by manifesting things which are, should we say, more appropriate during these times and what's best going to serve you and your future goals. So essentially there will be hundreds, probably thousands of people out there who are all like, what the hell, this was not on my 2020 vision board. Like, what is this? What is this stuff, universe? So obviously the astrologers at the beginning of 2020 pretty much predicted this, not necessarily like a virus, but that there would be big changes in our society, in our structures, how we see the world, the economical system, everything. I think most people knew something was going to happen, and how it's kind of played out is obviously, you know, I think put a lot of people like, you know, in a state of shock, and also in a state of like, okay, what do we do with this? Like, how do I manifest during these times? And what about my goals? What about my visions for 2020? Does that mean they're delayed? Does that mean they're not going to happen? And I think a really powerful message to remember here is from Gabby Bernstein: the universe's timing is better than yours. This was always meant to happen. Always. It was in the plan. It was like destined to happen. There was nothing that we could have done about that. This was always in the universe's plan. So therefore, when you set your intentions and when you set your desires and manifestations, this was always going to come into play at some point. And this doesn't mean that your manifestations are delayed, they're not happening, they're not coming. Not at all, like complete opposite. And there are many ways that you can look at this, which I really want to touch upon. But again, I've even had you know, people commenting on my Instagram when I've brought up this topic, saying that actually they've manifested a lot during this time and it's kind of made their desires a little bit easier. So for some, obviously things will be a little bit harder. Like if you're trying to manifest a house, it's not like you can go out and view that house and move right now because we're on lockdown. So, you know, there are some things which will feel more restricted manifestation wise, and probably will have to wait until this is calmed down and we're kind of like, well, I don't want to say back to normal, but you know, back into a steady pace of life where we're able to go out and action these things and take our inspired action. So yeah, there will be a few things that probably will just have to be put on the kind of like pile for now, like put it down sort of thing, but that's not a bad thing. And let me explain why. So with manifestation, a lot of the time we can become attached to things. We're like, I really want this to happen, like please let this happen, universe. And you know, we do the visualizations, the affirmations, and you've become in a spiral of wanting it so badly that that lack and desperation is almost like mirrored back to you, and you don't know why it's not turning up, sort of thing. So actually, by having this time to put those manifestations down, put the vision board down, put the goals list down, the manifestation box, whatever it is, gives you the time to create the space in your life. Because with having, you know, the time in your life to focus on self-love, self-care, spend time with your family, spend time with your kids, whatever it is, when you have that time to focus on those things, you are creating this space in your life where you're naturally detaching from that focus, from that manifestation. And I always say, how manifestations happen for me is when I'm always looking the other way, bam, it comes, it happens. And that's obviously because I'm distracting myself and like putting my positive energy towards things that feel good. I'm living in the present moment. So really, this is a great time for refocus, for, you know, gaining a new sense of awareness, having a new sense of awareness, refocusing, realigning, and coming back into your manifestations of maybe even looking at your manifestation board, dream list, whatever it is, and saying, your vision board. I know I just said manifestation board, new name for it, whatever, but yeah, like you can look at these and think, right, do I still feel aligned to those? Like, this is a really good time, and I actually did this myself. Go through your manifestation box and look at the intentions. Do they still feel aligned to you? And this is a great time to really reprioritize. And a lot of people will be having these aha moments of thinking like, is this still what I want? Am I aligned to this? Do I need to change this manifestation a little bit to update to how I feel right now? Or maybe you've learned some new things. Maybe you've come a long way since you set that manifestation. So really, this is an opportunity, a calling from the universe to say, hey, just hold on a minute, slow down, put the vision board down and think about what you really want right now. When you create that space, when you go within, when you're looking after yourself, you're taking the time to rest, relax, whatever it may be, even exercise, you may feel called to do that. You create the space for clarity to come through. You create the space for that new sense of awareness where whatever you learn over this period of time, when you then come back to your manifestations and your vision board and box, etc., once we're kind of like out of this, you will have a new sense of energy, a realignment, a refocusing. And this is so important with manifestation. And also, like I said, by putting it all down and like taking a break almost from manifesting your desires and goals, sometimes you can actually bring them to you so much quicker by, you know, putting it down, surrendering it, because it is that surrendering and letting go. Although it's a natural process because you're just not focusing on it, it will help you to let go and surrender. So I wouldn't be surprised if during this time you actually find that your manifestations speed up to you. You know, obviously within reason. Like I said, the house situation is a bit of a, you know, no-brainer that that's probably not going to happen. You may find it online and want to view it, but the physicalities of moving, etc., may be restricted for a few months, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. And, you know, for instance, a really good example of this is with my new book, Positively Wealthy. So I got my first copy through the other day, which you could see in my previous video, which I'm so excited about. And essentially that book was meant to come out on the 9th of June. And that's been the plan. So a couple of weeks ago, Watkins then messaged me and said, because of everything that's going on, like every single book publishers will be affected by this with book launches, that it's just not worth the risk to launch my book in June because Amazon are not prioritizing books as deliveries. So they won't be ordering in stock. They won't be like, you know, making sure there's a healthy stock of things. So there's a very, very high risk that the book would be out of stock, and probably for quite a long time as well. So, you know, that's no use to anybody because they're not going to get a book. So that's not helpful to anybody and frustrating for you guys, the readers, when you really want to read it. And having that actually happens with me with Spiritual Queen because we launched it on the 3rd of January. So bearing in mind we had Christmas, New Year and Black Friday, Amazon again, the stock was just awful. So having experienced that the first time, I was like, yeah, wise move. So the ebook is still coming out on the 9th of June. The paperback is coming out on the 8th of September. And I'm pretty certain the audiobook is coming out on the 9th of June as well. Still to be confirmed, but I think that's the plan. If not, it'll be September with the paperback. And you know, at first I was like really gutted and I was like, do you know what? Like, I've put so much like blood, sweat and tears into this for a June launch that it's not the end of the world. Like, it's really not. There's much bigger things going on in the world, but also it's given me an extra 3 months to prepare, to do more podcasts, do more PR, to feel like more prepared in general, to promote it more. And also September, it's going to be a great new energy where people are like, yes, I really want to manifest now. Like, focus on my money mindset, manifest money, focus on wealth, focus on like turning, you know, my dream life into an abundant reality. So for me, I feel like it aligned. And actually Gabby Bernstein's assistant, I was speaking to her to arrange for Gabby to come on my podcast. And she said, Emma, that's a blessing in disguise. They launched Super Tractor in September and she said it was really well received and the best book launch they've had. So I was like, okay, if Gabby's assistant is saying this, I'm going to trust this. Like, this is good advice. So really, like, and I can see, you know, because my journal for the book as well, the Positively Wealthy journal, is coming out in December this year, I could see that actually the timing of all these things was so much better than what I had, you know, originally had planned or originally wanted for the book. So I trust that the universe has aligned that now, that delay, in the best way possible. And by having the book delayed a few months, I can see all these other things that are slotting into my summer, which I probably wouldn't have been able to do before and focus on. So I'm already seeing, actually, this was always meant to happen. And this is like really for the highest good of myself, for you guys, for everybody. So that's just a real good example of how a delay in my life throughout this has actually resulted in probably the best thing that could ever happen to me. And obviously I know like people's weddings have been delayed, christenings, oh my God, like there are such big, you know, things that have been delayed in people's lives, which is really upsetting. Of course, like my best friend's wedding has been delayed till next year now, and obviously like we were meant to have the hen do a couple of weekends ago, and you know, obviously like we all had our dresses, like I was a bridesmaid, so like, you know, we'd all hyped ourselves up for this May wedding, and obviously like it must be absolutely devastating for my friends to like have to reschedule it to next year. But again, I'm like, do you know what, like when that happens next year, it is going to be one big celebration. You know, like obviously it would have been anyway in May, but next year like we're gonna have a whole year and a celebration of having the wedding and celebrating and having everybody there for the highest good of all. So yeah, I can see so many benefits. I mean, I'm not sure everyone out there probably does see all the benefits right now if you know, obviously like their weddings have been postponed and things like that, because do you know what I mean? It's like money, it's time, and especially a wedding, like, you know, you build up to it for so many years. Like it's like, you know, just such, I guess, a sort of anticlimax as such when you can't do it because a pandemic has, you know, spread in the world as such. So it's definitely one of those times where I think whether it's weddings, christenings, house moves, book launches, whatever it may be in your life, you know, these things are being delayed for a reason, and trust God's timing, trust the universe's timing, because, you know, Sean, my first publisher, said that Gabby quote to me, and he said, Emma, as Gabby Bernstein would say, God's timing is better than yours. And I was like, yeah, I know that has been so true in my life for so many things. So really, you know, challenge yourself to get into that mindset of understanding that these things are happening for a reason, and a good reason. If things are being delayed, don't see that as a negative, see it as an opportunity. See it as an opportunity to, like I said with my friend's wedding, next year it's going to be an even bigger celebration for all of us, like to celebrate their love. With my book launch, for example, you know, it's given me more time to prepare, it's given me more time to not feel stressed through a pre-order period, and everybody gets their books on time and there's plenty of stock, etc. So there's so many ways to look at, you know, these delays, and, you know, especially if you're looking at your vision board and you're like, this was not on it, being at home in lockdown, it's okay. Some people want to redo their vision boards, that's fine, do what you feel called to do, but everything's still valid, everything's still on plan, everything's still going to go ahead in the perfect timing for the highest good of all, as it always was meant to be. This has not stopped anything, this has not delayed anything. These things were meant to happen. So, you know, like my friends, they were obviously always meant to get married next year. My book was always meant to come out in September. We just may not have known it at the time when we thought it was this May and this June, but ultimately the universe was like, just trust, you're not the end of the world, it's still gonna happen, just trust that these things are aligning for the highest good. So take this time to refocus, to realign, and to look at your manifestations and say, right, do I need to tweak anything? Do I have a new sense of awareness where I want to get a bit clearer on this with the universe and I know what it is I want now? Are there things which you need to take off your vision board, out of your manifestation box, because it no longer aligns with you? Use this time to refocus and realign. This is precious time. This is so beneficial time. What's going on in the world is heartbreaking, and it's, you know, so sad, and it's causing a lot of fear, rightly so. But equally, you choose how you spend this time. You can manifest how you feel each day. And that's the control you do have over your life. So don't see this as a delay. See this as divine timing. See this as an opportunity to have even more alignment and have even more clarity and focus towards your desires when you can pick them up in a few months' time and proceed forward with them. Like, use it as an opportunity and use it as a time to rest. Another thing is, you know, we're not always meant to be manifesting all the time. You know, we're cyclic beings, we have polarities here in this world. The masculine energy is very much the summer, the outer, the manifesting, pushing, achieving energy, whereas the feminine energy is very winter, inwards journey, going within yourself, healing. It's very inner journey, and that's what we're in right now. So both is important. Look at the seasons. Winter is just as important so that we can have our summer. So remember that you're not being delayed. It's not a downside that you're in this winter feminine energy inwards right now, because that will serve you to be able to allow you to be in the best summer, manifesting and achieving your dreams in that masculine energy when it's the time to step back into it. So I hope this video has really served you guys, and I hope you are all keeping safe and well wherever you are in the world. So thank you so much guys for watching my video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment box down below, because I reply to them all. And you can also join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. So I hope you have a safe and well week, whatever you are up to, and I'll see you all for my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love guys.